Yo, guys, Coach Vinny here. So I picked up a new modeling gig here at the USHL Combine. So that's what's up with the hat. You like it? So today's, guys, this segment, I just wanted to talk about player strengths, right? It's something that I've talked to you guys about if you've been following for a while, and if you haven't, you know, a big part of our culture is always zoning in on understanding and focusing on your strengths, really developing them and figuring out what that is, and just making sure that you go and develop that and put the time into that, right? It's a big theme of what it is and big concept that we're constantly working on and teaching and training our students. So here, guys, while I'm at the Combine, a big part that gets interesting, right, is that's a part that right now I'm offering up to some players. I'm going out, right? I'm talking to them about different things that I see that are their strengths, what makes them valuable. So I'm giving them little performance reports and all that type of stuff. And so it was interesting talking to a player of where this is something I deal with consistently in talking to younger players, is where the misconception of strengths that sometimes happens. So when you're a younger player, right, you can identify your strengths on the ice. So let's say you have a very good shot, right? When you're younger, you can get away with using that shot a lot without too much stress, because you're really good at it. You have time, space, you know, you've got all these different things that allow you to be able to use your shot in ways that typically will not happen as you start to go higher and higher, right? So at an event like this, where you're talking about the best players that are looking to play in the best league, you know, in the country, junior league in the country, the reality is this. I'm talking to a player about breaking it down, and I noticed that this player was very good. This specific player was very good at protecting the puck and had a good shot at the same time. So what I want to talk to the player about was, hey, listen, buddy, the big part that you have here is because you're so good at protecting the puck, one of the ways you can use this to your advantage in this league is that if you learn how to protect, and as you're protecting, be able to come off and then fire the puck. I'm like, do you understand what I mean by that? Is like as drills that you could do stuff like that to train. And he's like, no, you know, I understand what you mean, but I'm trying to like read the game. You know, I think I'm naturally pretty good at reading the game and seeing it and all that stuff. And it was funny because it was, you know, again, I'm coming over and it's talking to him and explaining to him. He heard me talk yesterday, but then, you know, look at this guy with his hat coming to tell me this. Who knows what it was, but you could sense his energy though was, hey, I'm really good. I do this already really good. What do you mean like that? I need to work on it. You could kind of sense that feeling was coming off it. And that's a big part and takeaway that I want you guys, when you think about strengths, right, is that you're strong. And it was a great, you know, Don Granato brought this up yesterday and he talked about it, how you're strong as a youth player where you are at the level you are now. But when you talk about the tipping point of getting around all the best players, which is juniors, college, pro, whatever it is, right? At some point, then you get around all the best players. So when you're around all the best players and the team and the ice is filled with all the best players, it's not enough to just identify your strength and naturally just do it and not actually work on it. And so that was the big takeaway there, was that little segment, that little piece that I was trying to teach them and help them think about is that's the next layer for players. And that's a big layer that we work on with our students, is understanding that it's developing. Once you've identified what your strength is, then it's knowing how to actually use it and develop it. So in this way, it becomes unconscious and you're able to do these things automatically and you're not thinking about it. This way, it allows you to create that think tank and be able to think about other things that you need to do in the game. But there's certain things that you just don't want to think about. And that's one of those tools that we use when it comes to identifying your strength, is that we've identified this. You need to work on it, because that's ultimately when you get to this high level of pressure, there's going to be plenty of other things you're going to have to think about in the game, adjustments you're going to have to make and all that stuff, that there's certain parts you don't want to think about. And so that one little drill, that one little exercise that I was helping to explain to this player was to help him understand, and for you to understand as well, is that you want to make habits automatic. You want to make some things just automatic that you identify as a strength, but at the same time, guys, put the time in to actually making yourself stronger at what those things are. So that's a big piece. That message, again, for any player that's out there, is that, yes, identifying your strengths is where your confidence lies. But then actually working on it, making it automatic, making it unconscious, where you don't have to think about it in the game, is another layer to that process, because eventually everybody's going to be good. And this goes for anything you want to do in life, right? Eventually, if you want to be a part of the 1% of everything, which is any industry, the best of the best is the 1%, are the ones who actually can make a living, do what they want to do, passionate about all that stuff. Well, that's going to come from you knowing, all right, this is what I'm really strong at, so what kind of habits can I develop that become automatic with that? So, simple little reminder. What do you think? You know, comment below, let me know. But just a simple reminder that I just want to make sure that young players, older players, if you're listening to this, there comes that time where everybody's legit. And the difference is that, can you take what you're strong at and level up and keep on making it even better? And situations like this, it's hard when you haven't seen it and you haven't experienced it yet. But when you bounce this off coaches and talk to any professional scout, coach, you know, anybody that's out there, guys, that's higher level, and they'll tell you the same exact thing. It's the truth, right? It's as simple as that. Let me know, comment below what you think. All right, if you love this message, share it out. But again, guys, focusing on your strengths is step one. But step two, leveling up, that's a whole nother story. See you guys.